I don't know if anybody can argue with me that one of the most beloved characters in Tower of God has seen one of the biggest drop-offs. Season 3 was not kind to our oh-so-lovely Endorsi Jahad. Arguably Bomb's #1 love interest, at least in the early story. We fell in love with her for her boldness, her sharp wit, her quick comebacks, and her love and attention for Bomb. So what the did CU do to our girl? Well, I would say she became a fan service, low value Uber driver. And that's pretty much it. I'm here to talk about it. It's also a way to fix it because it's not hard, okay? I think we can do this, CU. I think we can get it together in season 4, especially since it looks like season 4 is headed for a big princess focus since we got introduced to 2 huge princesses that we've been looking forward to, with Anik also being shown in the background. So maybe we can get this princess arc and maybe we can get her some love, but let's discuss the problems. So to nobody's surprise, problem number 1, Bong Bong. I've never seen an ability granted somebody that ended up hurting their character. Like, I can't think, and you guys know me, I'm terrible at thinking that stuff at the top of my head. Something that has literally held them back. And Dorsey winning Bong Bong in season 2 during the workshop battle has absolutely made her the definition of a one-trick pony. Now, to be fair, season 3 was plagued with challenges, okay? She was put in a lot of scenarios where she's facing people that are way above her in skill and power. It was regulars versus rankers almost the entire season. With that being said, of course, we can see you using your best utility, but that does not mean cut everything else out that we've ever seen from her. Like, did we literally forget that she is a Zahard princess? That means that she has some standing. Why don't we use a little bit of her political power here, right? I feel like this series doesn't get enough of that. At least it favors the side of Zahard or the great families. They always win the political battle. Why is it? I don't believe that it's public knowledge that Endorsi is friends with Bomb. So why aren't there scenarios where she could use her name or at least not be threatened the way she's been threatened? Now, granted, she's put herself in scenarios. For example, when Lobo Pia Lobadan and Pobidao Hugo went to battle, she was there and she was basically the Uber driver. But I don't see why there can't be more utility to it. Like, we've literally seen her like supplement it sometimes and even use it just as wings. So why is it that Bong Bong can't be used to get some high elevation and use it as a really strong kick? Why, can't we get creative instead of her just being able to transport people everywhere? I feel like the creativity with this character was completely dead in season 3. It was literally like the super duper convenience tool, and it killed everything that we loved about her between season 2 and season 1. The assertive girl who is very sharp when it comes to combat, can come up with things like a Zahara princess is supposed to. That is not to mention, we were completely robbed of her putting Lilial into the ground. I mean, for God's sake, at that point in the series, right, I believe all of us were tired of Lilial and her shenanigans and her mouth and the way she used to talk to Bomb. So finally, when Lilial was about to get some comeuppance, and it seems like they're going to have a 1v1, the same 1v1 that they were going to rehash from season 2, it doesn't happen. They end up having a little discussion talk about it, and it becomes a reveal for Lilial's background. Tower of God has never been a fan service type of manhwa. We get our, nice, voluptuous women at times. I say that to say, I think Endorsi's fan service has overshadowed her ability to have impact in the story this season. For example, the moments that I could think about besides the Bong Bong moments that she's had significance is when she was literally looking voluptuous and some weird stuff was going on. Number 1, when Bomb decided to go to Lobadan's ship and they were changing clothes, this was a moment that a lot of people used. I even remember using one of those images as my thumbnail because like, oh, damn, she's thick. But then it's not cool, right? Like, there's only so much of that gets you so far, especially with somebody who has already been established in the story to not be that character. It got even weirder as the story progressed. The weird stuff with Holland, when he uses her creatures to crawl up her shirt. Like, Siu, what are we doing? I really dislike the latter end where she and Kun were at the end and they had to give the piece, because I felt like there were a ton of different ways to write that could have been better. Like, for example, if Rak never gave up his piece, you're never in that scenario in the first place, right? I get it, Rak's a comedy bit, and I already had a problem with Kun, Rak, and Bomb trying to fight Dumas, and I feel like in this scenario, with that situation with the chess pieces, this should have been a task for Kun, Endorsi, and Rak to get right. Bomb, okay, let Bomb face Dumas on his own like he ended up doing. Game could have been won by those three. Game was already rigged to go in Po Beatdown's favor. But for Kun and Endorsi and Rak to have maybe come up with a plan to manipulate it the way it ended up ending anyway, with them winning it, without Gustang literally giving it to him, it would have made for better impact in their characters and their significance to the story. I feel like they were just sprinkled in and saved at different points. The only one who really got punished was Kun, who literally died to rankers because he was supposed to. Now, I say all of that to say there isn't an impossibility for her to come back, okay? There is damage to her reputation. There is no doubt about it, okay? But there is a way to resolve this. Please, if we are going into a princess like art where new princesses are getting introduced, please let us use our heroine, our literal princess on our team to be a factor here. She should have significance. We should dig into her background, which has always been in question with, you know, her parentage, or if she comes from an actual family. Dive into that, don't dive into that, but at least explore how she became a princess, how she trained up. Not the little bits and pieces of the background, what we learned about. Show the actual characters, show the era she possibly came from. Give us something that relevates back to the story, because this is supposed to be Bob's #1 option. Now, again, it's arguable, it's debatable. I know people are on any train, you know, possible Kaiser train, but let's not play like Endorsi hasn't literally been his ride or die from the beginning. And even give her a little bit of plot focus. Endorsi Jahad, you have been supporting the rebel. Get called back to the Jahad Empire. I don't know if I actually like the idea of her becoming a prisoner, but put her in a situation where she has to make a massive decision that affects Bomb's story. And it doesn't have to be that, but it could also be putting her name, oh, you are excommunicado as a princess. Now the princesses are out to hunt her. Like, whatever gives her a little bit of love. And you guys, feel free to comment and give your own ideas of what can make her better in season 4. But I think diving into her story, creating a scenario, not necessarily around her where the plot has to be, oh, Endorsi focused, some love here. I believe in popularity and flavors of the month. And season 3 was not kind to her character. So yes, she fell out the same way Rak fell out of my top 10. These were characters I loved in season 2. They mattered because we were, you know, more regular focused then. But we need to be able to maintain these people. It cannot literally just be the Bomb show or the Kun show, because Kun has had some significance and made some moves in season 3. The real Endorsi was a threat. She was a leader. She was assertive, and she could steal the spotlight and make us fall in love with her. So I truly hope for season 4, SVU goes back to his roots with her and comes up with a concept to not leave this girl as a dead background character the way she has been in season 3. With all my love and respect, let's pray for our girl. Other than that, you guys already know me, Mark. I stream once a week. I drop a review for the new Urix Mazano side story every week. So be sure to catch up on that content if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button for your boy, because I am dropping videos at least once or twice a week. All right, so get with me. I'm trying to bring up my streams and my numbers. I appreciate you guys. Love ya. Peace. Ordering.